Good day, students. This is Miss Jenna Agas once again, but this time we will tackle Quarter 1, Week 3 in Mathematics 9. Our topic is about the sum and product of roots of a quadratic equation. For the most essential learning competency, we have describes the relationship between the coefficients and the roots of a quadratic equation. Before we proceed to our discussion, let's have a short activity entitled, Let's do addition and multiplication. The direction is to perform the indicated operation below. Let's have number 1. We have 7 plus 15 is equal to, what do you think is the answer? Okay, the correct answer is 22. Good job, students. How about number 2? We have negative 9 plus 14. What do you think is the answer? It is equal to 5. How about number 3? We have negative 6 plus negative 17 is equal to, the answer is negative 23. And number 4, we have negative 8 times negative 10. What do you think is the answer? The answer is positive 80. Very good, students. How about number 5? We have negative 6 times positive 12. What do you think is the answer? The answer is negative 72. These ideas will help you to fully understand our lesson for today. So last time, we discussed about describing the roots of a quadratic equation. Now, what do you think is the relationship between the roots and the coefficient of a quadratic equation? Is there any relationship? Yes, of course. Using the coefficients A, B, and C, we can easily identify the sum and product of the roots of a quadratic equation. To find out, let us proceed. Remember that the roots of a quadratic equation can be determined by the quadratic formula x is equal to negative b, either positive or negative square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. From the quadratic formula, let x sub 1 is equal to negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And x sub 2 is equal to negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a be the roots. So, let us first find the sum of these roots. We have x sub 1 plus x sub 2 is equal to, let us just substitute the value of x sub 1 and x sub 2. So, it becomes negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a plus negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So after this, let us combine the two. So it becomes negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac minus b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So let us cancel positive square root of b squared minus 4ac and negative square root of b squared minus 4ac. Then, we have negative b minus b is equal to negative 2b. And let us copy the denominator, which is 2a. So it becomes negative 2b over 2a. Then, we will cancel negative 2 and then positive 2. So, to simplify, it becomes negative b over a. So, the sum of the roots of a quadratic equation is negative b over a. Next is the product of the roots of a quadratic equation. So, we have x sub 1 times x sub 2 is equal to, let us just substitute the value of x sub 1 and x sub 2, which are quantity negative b plus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a times quantity negative b minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Negative b times negative b is equal to quantity negative b squared. Next, positive square root of b squared minus 4ac times negative square root of b squared minus 4ac is equal to negative quantity square root of b squared minus 4ac squared, and then we have 2a times 2a is equal to quantity 2a squared. Next, we will cancel the radical sign and the exponent, which is 2. So it becomes b squared minus b squared plus 4ac all over 4a squared. So we have negative times b squared is equal to negative b squared. Negative times negative 4ac, it becomes positive 4ac. And then, quantity 2a squared, when you simplify it, it becomes 4a squared. Next, b squared minus b squared is equal to 0. Therefore, we will write 4ac over 4a squared because we just copy the denominator. Then, we will simplify if it necessary. So, we will cancel 4 at the numerator and 4 at the denominator. And then, a at the numerator and a at the denominator. So, it becomes c over a. Therefore, that will be the product of the roots of the quadratic equation. So, to fully understand, let's have an example. For number 1, find the sum and the product of the roots of x squared plus 7x minus 18 is equal to 0. The first step is to find the values of a, b, and c of a quadratic equation x squared plus 7x minus 18 is equal to 0. Let us find the value of a. A is equal to positive 1, b is equal to positive 7, and c is equal to negative 18. Next, to find the sum of the roots, let us just write negative b over a and then substitute the value of b and a, which is the value of b is 7, so it becomes negative 7 at the numerator, and the value of a, which is 1, so we will write it at the denominator. So it becomes negative 7 over 1, or we will simplify it so it becomes negative 7. So the sum of the roots is negative 7. How about the product of the roots? We will copy c over a and then substitute the values of c and a. C is equal to negative 18 while a is equal to 1. So let us simplify. Negative 18 divided by 1 is simply negative 18. To check, find the roots of x squared plus 7x minus 18 is equal to 0 using any of the methods of solving quadratic equations. Okay, in checking, we will use the method of factoring. So let us copy the given equation, which is x squared plus 7x minus 18 is equal to 0. Now, let us write the factor, which are x plus 9 times x minus 2 is equal to 0. After that, we will equate it to 0. So, x plus 9 is equal to 0 and x minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to positive 9. It becomes, we will transpose it so it becomes negative 9. And then x is equal to, so from negative 2, it becomes positive 2. So that will be the roots of the given quadratic equation. So let us compare our answer a while ago. So let us compute the sum of the roots. We have x sub 1 plus x sub 2. Let us substitute. X sub 1 is equal to negative 9 and then x sub 2 is equal to positive 2. So negative 9 plus 2 is equal to negative 7. So as you can see, it is the same with our answer. While the product of the roots, which is x sub 1 times x sub 2, so substitute, we have negative 9 times 2, it becomes negative 18. So it is the same also. Okay, let's have example number 2. Find the sum and the product of the roots of 2x squared plus 8x minus 10 is equal to 0. So the first step is to find the values of a, b, and c of the given quadratic equation. So let us now find the value of a. Okay, a is equal to positive 2, b is equal to positive 8, while c is equal to negative 10. Next, in able to find the sum of the roots, let us write negative b over a, or the formula of the sum of the roots. Then, substitute the value of b and a. So we have negative 8 divided by 2. So let us simplify. It becomes negative 4. Therefore, the sum of the roots of the given quadratic equation is negative 4. How about the product of the roots? So let us copy the formula, which is C over A. Then substitute the value of C, which is negative 10, and A is equal to 2. Now, let us simplify negative 10 divided by 2. So, it becomes negative 5. Therefore, the product of the roots of the given equation is negative 5. So, in order for us to check if our answer is correct or are correct, we will find the roots of the given equation using any methods of solving quadratic equation. We'll use again the method of factoring. So, let us write the given equation and then we will divide it, or we will divide the first, the second, and the third term by 2 because all of them are divisible by 2. So, let us cancel. It becomes x squared and then plus 8 divided by 2 is 4x minus 10 divided by 2 is equal to 5 is equal to 0. Now, let us factor. We have x plus 5 times x minus 1 is equal to 0. Next, we will equate it to 0. So, it becomes x is equal to, so from positive 5, it becomes negative 5. How about negative 1? If we will transpose it to the right side, so from negative 1, now it becomes, okay, positive 1. So, we have now your x sub 1, which is negative 5, and your x sub 2, which is 1. So, let us check the sum of the roots. So, we have x sub 1 plus x sub 2. Substitute the value of x sub 1, which is negative 5, plus the value of x sub 2, which is 1, and then add, it becomes negative 4. So, as you can see, it is the same with our answer a while ago, using the formula of the sum of the roots. How about the product of the roots? Just write x sub 1 times x sub 2, then substitute the value of x sub 1, which is negative 5, times the value of x sub 2, which is 1, and then multiply it. The answer is negative 5. So, as you can see, the answer is also the same a while ago when we used the formula in the product of the roots. So, remember that the sum of the roots of a given quadratic equation is the ratio negative b over a, while the product of its roots is the ratio c over a. So, in general, all you need to do is write the quadratic equation in standard form and identify the values of the constants a, b, and c in finding the sum and product of the roots of the quadratic equation. So, no need to solve the roots of the quadratic equation using the different method if you're going to find the sum and the product of the roots. This is the end of our discussion for today. I hope you learned a lot. For the references used, Thank you for listening. Keep safe and God bless.